Good morning, all of my subscribers. Please subscribe, come and take a ride on the 49ers gravy train. Today we're here to talk about top cornerbacks. I got a top 5 cornerback list for the 2024 NFL draft. I personally felt in the Super Bowl that the corners that we had, Logan Ryan on the field, he was exposed for 2 wide open touchdowns. And at the end of the day, we as a team cannot have that type of bad cornerback play. Besides Charvarius Ward, the corners on the team are good to mediocre. I like Deommodore Lenoir, but I think this guy right here, Quinyon Mitchell, I've seen him on some people's list as a number 1 corner in the NFL draft coming out this year. He has great ball skills. He had a tremendous amount of pass breakups. He ran a 4.3 40. He does play at Toledo, so certain people are going to say, oh, well, he played against lower competition. But he's a very willing tackler. He has the height and the weight. He's over 6 feet, to be a phenomenal corner. I think you could plug and play him and put him in. We already have Charvarius Ward, who was a top corner this year. I feel like a top corner combination, like what the Kansas City Chiefs had against us in the Super Bowl. They had Snead on one side, and they had the other young guy on the other side. I can't remember his name at the time. McDuffie. So to have a great pass rush tooled up with fantastic cornerback play on the back end, I think will take the 49ers defense to another level. Replacing Emmanuel Mosley and, finding somebody that can be a competent third corner, because the NFL is all about the 3 wide receiver sets now. So we have Lenoir, who I like, the hyena. We have Ward, who I like, who really is great to me. But we still have to have a third corner. You're only as strong as your weakest link. Cooper DeJean. Cooper DeJean, I think, should definitely be on John Lynch's radar. They have picked a lot of players from Iowa and had tremendous success with players coming out of Iowa and Iowa State. We got Brock Purdy out of Iowa State. We got George Kittle out of Iowa. Cooper DeJean is over 6'1", 207 pounds. I know you're looking at me like, he's a white corner. Yes, he's the first white corner I've seen that's actually been a good white corner since Jason Sehorn for the Giants. He's very physical. He's a punt returner, and he's a ball hawk. Better at zone than man, but I think he's a terrific player. Right here, he's also on my wish list. You can't say anything about the competition that Mr. Kool-Aid McKinstry played against at Alabama, the SEC. He was a baller. I think he would be a plug-and-play corner for the 49ers on the outside. It would enable them to bump Deommodore Lenoir down to a slot cornerback. He goes after the ball, high points balls. He is very, very physical. He excels at man-to-man coverage, which is why I like him. He's really at the top of my wish list because he excels at man-to-man coverage. He's played against Georgia, LSU, all of the top teams in the SEC, and has been Alabama's number 1 cornerback for a couple years going. Him and the other boy, Arnold. Now, this guy, Wiggins, he's also on my top corner list. I think he'll probably be drafted by the time we pick at 31, but if he's not, I would run the card up there. Wiggins, he's 6'1", 174 pounds. We can put him in the gym. We can put some weight on him, but he's a 4.3 speed corner. He excels at coverage in the deep ball. He does not give up deep passes. He was Clemson's number 1 corner for the last several years, and he's an interceptor. He is very willing. He's a willing tackler. He's just small. So he's not going to come up and knock people out at 174 pounds, but he's very confident. He's a willing tackler. Deion Sanders was an ankle biter tackler. He didn't tackle very well either, but you couldn't throw on him, which is the key. And the last corner on this list is Terrion Arnold. He also played for Alabama, played against the best receivers. This year, I think he probably took over the mantle as number one corner from Kool-Aid McKinstry, but they had two of them. And that's what I would like to have for the 49ers. I would like to have two top-flight corners that can stand up against Patrick Mahomes. That's what we're going to have to see. We know this. When we get to the Super Bowl, Patty's going to be there waiting for us saying, no, you guys can't have one. So unless we have corners that can cover like this, that are going to make his life miserable, we're going to have problems because they obviously are not going to call a holding. It's been 8 quarters. They have not called one holding against Kansas City's offensive line in 8 quarters of football. So cover better because you're not going to get calls on holding and be able to sack. We got some good pressure on Kansas City at the start of the game, the start of the Super Bowl.